be king in your story. I wanna know who you are. I want your heart to be for me. Oh, I want you to sing to me softly, cause then I might run in the dark. That's all that love ever taught me. Oh, I call and I'll rush out, all out of breath now. You got that power over me. My mind, everything I hold dear resides in those eyes. You got that power over me. My mind, the only one I know, the only one on my mind. You got that power over me. Got that power over me. You got that power over me. Remember the lake in the moonlight. Remember you shivered and shone. I'll never forget what you looked like on that night. But I know that time is gonna take me. I know that day's gonna come. I just want the devil to hate me. Oh, I call and I'll rush out, all out of breath now. You got that power over me. My mind, everything I hold dear resides in those eyes. You got that power over me. My mind, the only one I know, the only one on my mind. You got that power over me. You got that power over me. You got that power over me. It was rolling down and roll around. So we hide away and never tell. You decide if darkness knows you well. That lesson of love, all that it was, I need you to see. You got that power over me. My mind, everything I hold dear resides in those eyes. You got that power over me. My mind, the only one I know, the only one on my mind. You got that power over me. I know that I let it down, no, let it down, no. You got that power over me. My mind, everything I hold dear resides in those eyes. Got that power over me. My mind, the only one I know, the only
son padres de familia.
Buenas tardes, señoras y señoritas. Aquí está el DJ Héctor Bonifacio Echeverría Cervantes de la Cruz Arroyo Rojas. Esta es la radio que sacó a toda la estación donde el rock vive y no muere. Vamos a escuchar un par de temas de Queens of the Stone Age. Primero vamos a escuchar Thirsted Give It. Qué música impresionante, temible y verdaderamente ahora. Van a ver, aquí va, aquí va, aquí va, aquí va.
Heart is a balloon, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you can lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So let it get away on the road. You've got no destination, you're in the mud, in a maze of her imagination. Your love is down, even if that doesn't ring true. You've been all over, and it's been all over you. It's a beautiful day. So let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Touch me, take me to that other place. Teach me. I know I'm not a hopeless case. See the world in green and blue. See China right in front of you. See the canyons broken by cloud. See the tuna fleets clearing the sea out. See the bedroom fires at night. See the oil fields at first light. And see the bird with a leaf in her mouth. After the flood, all the colors came out. It was a beautiful day. So let it get away. Beautiful day. Touch me, take me to that other place. Release me. I know I'm not a hopeless case. What you don't have, you don't need it now. What you don't know, you can feel it somehow. What you don't have, you don't need it now. Don't need it now. It was a beautiful day.
It's midnight as we cut through the city. Yeah, the streets are getting restless. Good times, bad decisions. Yeah, it's midnight and the sirens are mending some hearts. But we're the losers on the back seat, singing love will tear us apart. It's midnight, still avoiding tomorrow. It's midnight, but we're just getting going. We keep on running through a red light, like we're trying to burn the night away. blowing. Yeah, yeah, we want the bodies on the billboards, not the lives underneath them. Yeah, yeah, and now we're crawling up the walls again, and it's 12:15. And you said we leave this place in dust and fall from heaven straight through hell. We never know what we have. We never knew what we had. We keep on running, running through a red light, like we're trying to burn the night away, 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 oh, away, away, oh. Why we always chasing after something, like we're trying to throw our lives away, 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 oh, away, away, oh. This is my favorite part of how we piece it all together, darling. Before it falls apart, oh, how we piece it all together. It's midnight and secrets are flowing. Our lips are getting looser. I don't know what I'm saying. We never knew what we had. Never know what I've had. We keep on running, running through a red light, like we're trying to burn the night away, 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 oh, away, away, oh. Why we always chasing after something, like we're trying to throw our lives away, 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 oh, away, away, oh. This is my favorite part, so how we piece it all together before it falls apart. How we piece it all together.
One more depending on a prep, and we all look away. People pretending everywhere. It's just another day. There's bullets flying through the air, and they still carry on. We watch it happen over there, and then just turn it off. We must stand together. There's no giving in. Hand in hand forever. That's when we are in. That's when we are in. That's when we are in. They tell us everything's alright, and we just go along. How can we fall asleep at night when something's clearly wrong? When we can feed a starving world with what we throw away, but all we serve are empty words that always taste the same. We must stand together. There's no giving in. Hand in hand forever. That's when we are in. That's when we are in. That's when we are in. The right thing to guide us is right here inside us. No one can divide us when the light is nearly gone. But just like a heartbeat, the drumbeat carries on. And the drumbeat carries on. We must stand together. There's no giving in. Hand in hand forever. That's
you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Now I don't stop. I went to a shrink to analyze my dreams. She says it's like a sex that's bringing me down. I went to a whore. He said my life's a bore. So quit my white looks and bringing me down. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Grasping to control, so I can hold on.
Good morning.
Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Like a
Yeah. Good morning. The rumors are true. It's me, Uncle Lou. Live on YouTube for you. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. 2 days away from the start of week 1 on Thursday night. We're going to take an early look at the schedule of games today. But the Colorado game is Thursday. That one will be interesting. So I was trying to think how to handle the call-in show on Thursday because I do want to watch the Colorado game, especially if it ends up being close. So the Colorado game, well, let's just put the schedule up on the screen now. Into. So, I mean, there's a ton of games on Thursday, but most of them probably won't be close. I mean, Western Carolina at NC State. What else? Arkansas plays at 7:30. Missouri plays at 8. Kansas. I mean, so a lot of ranked teams playing. North Carolina at Minnesota. Power 5 versus Power 5. I think that's the only Power 5 versus Power 5 game on Thursday. North Dakota State at Colorado at 8. Utah plays at 9. So there's some interesting teams playing. There's really only a couple of interesting games. So I think what we're going to do for Thursday, Lou Jr. has soccer practice on Thursday, and I usually get back home around 7:30 or 7:45 from his soccer practice. I think what I'm going to do on Thursday is, instead of waiting until 9 o'clock and doing the call-in show, I'm probably just going to go live at 7:45, 8 o'clock for this North Dakota State Colorado game. And it won't be a call-in show, at least initially. We'll watch the game. It'll just be a game stream like the Saturday streams. Now, if for some reason the game turns into a rout, Colorado's up 30 points halftime or something crazy like that, then we'll transition the show to just a call-in show. But if the game is close or looks like it could be close or whatever, we'll probably just continue to watch the game rather than doing the call-in show. We'll have the call-in show tonight for sure, and maybe we'll even go a little longer than normal tonight so that everybody that wants to call in can call in just in case we end up not doing the call-in show on Thursday. But I am interested in watching this North Dakota State and Colorado game. If you watched the Lunch Money show last night, I like Colorado in this one. They're about a 9 or a 10-point favorite, depending on where you look. I got them at 9.5. I know all the jokes and everything about Colorado losing, and I mean, I'm not going to bet a lot of money on the game. That way, if North Dakota State wins, I can be happy and laugh about Colorado losing as opposed to being mad that I lost $1 million on the game. I'll just bet a little bit on it so that I won't care. But I just don't think North Dakota State can compete with Colorado on the outside, the skill positions. I think Colorado turns this game into a track meet. And I think North Dakota State will score. The over-under is around 60, I think, in that game. I kind of like the over 60, too. But I am on Colorado minus 9.5, and I would like to watch that one, especially if it's close. Now, like I said, Colorado gets out, some kind of 28-3 lead or something halfway through the second quarter. Then, yeah, we can always just transition the game stream to a call-in show like a normal Thursday. But I am interested in watching that game. So that's probably how we will handle Thursday. Now, Friday, I'm not so sure. There's not a single good game on Friday. There's not. There's a couple of interesting teams playing. I am curious to see how Jackson Arnold looks at Oklahoma. That comes on at 7. And I am interested to see what Wisconsin looks like year 2 under Luke Fickell. They're supposed to be throwing the ball a lot, as opposed to the Wisconsin that we're kind of used to seeing over the last 20 years, just sort of the 3 yards cloud of dust deal. They're hosting Western Michigan, so not a great game. But I am interested to see how Wisconsin looks year 2 under Luke Fickell. And then a Power 5 versus Power 5 matchup at 10:30, TCU at Stanford. I don't know that I wanted to stream 5 days in a row for week 1. Thursday for the Colorado/call-in show, stream Friday night for these games. Of course, stream all day Saturday, stream the LSU game Sunday and the Florida State game Monday. That's a lot of live streaming. That's a lot of standing up and pacing back and forth and yelling and screaming in here. I might take Friday night off from the live streaming and just sit in here and watch the games and then upload halftime videos, halftime reports and post-game reaction videos. And, of course, if anything crazy, if for some reason Oklahoma's losing at halftime or something, I'll upload videos and give you my thoughts on it. But I may end up not live streaming on Friday. Just the odds of any of these games being any good in the fourth quarter are slim to none. I mean, maybe TCU and Stanford is close in the fourth quarter because it ends up being 2 bad teams. I don't know. I like TCU to win that one on the road at Stanford. I think Stanford is trending towards Vanderbilt level bad when it comes to their football program. But Elon at Duke, I mean, no. I may watch some of the first quarter to see how what's his name looks at quarterback. I really liked him at where was that quarterback at? He was stuck in. He got sandwiched. The quarterback that transferred to Duke. What's his name? He got sandwiched between the starter that's back this year and what's in Texas. Thank you, Slim. He got sandwiched between he got sandwiched in between Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. Malik Murphy, yeah. I like him. I think he might be pretty good. You know, Georgia wanted him. And didn't land him because he wanted to go somewhere where he could start right away. I don't blame him. A lot of transfers are that way, so I'm not dogging on him. But that's how Georgia ended up with Jaden Rashada. They went after Malik Murphy and didn't get him. He's at Duke. First-year head coach there, Manny Diaz. So I might watch some of the Duke game too. Let's see. Let's put it back up. So it's not that there's nothing worth watching on Friday. I just seriously doubt if any of these will be great games, you know. I do want to watch. I'll watch some of Oklahoma. I'll watch some of Duke. I'll watch some of Wisconsin. You know, but I don't know that any of that is worth doing a stream on. And since it's 5 straight days, it's probably not the worst idea in the world if I just take one of the days off from the game streams. And the day that would make the most sense to do that would be Friday. So I'm leaning that way anyway. Now on Saturday, we've got a ton of good games and we've got good games in all 3 time slots. So Saturday, the way the schedule lays out on Saturday is like the perfect schedule layout for a college football Saturday. You've got at least one big game at each of the 3 major time slots. And you've got sort of like really good tier 2 games all day long too. So, you know, just look at like the early games. Obviously, you've got Georgia Clemson. That's the marquee game at noon. But Penn State at West Virginia is going to be a great game. Virginia Tech at Vandy. Is the Virginia Tech hype for real? You know? Are they going to go into Vandy and win by 7, which is no huge accomplishment? Or are they going to go in there and blow them out like any legitimate team would? Tennessee plays at 12:45. I don't know nationally how many people are going to watch that, Chattanooga at Tennessee, but of course Tennessee fans are going to watch it to see Nico, you know. 3:30, our first look at the newly constructed Ohio State team with Will Howard at quarterback and those transfers that they brought in. They host Akron. The game will be a blowout. But how does Will Howard look at quarterback compared to Honda McCord last year, right? That's the only question that anybody really should have about Ohio State. Can Will Howard be better enough than Kyle McCord to get them over the hump? I don't know that you'll have a definitive answer to that by watching them play Akron, but you'll at least get an idea of what that offense looks like at 3:30. On Saturday. Texas hosts Colorado State. And then, of course, Florida and Miami is the marquee matchup of the afternoon at 3:30. Huge game there for both teams, really. UTEP at Nebraska. Dylan Raiola, true freshman, starting quarterback. Nebraska is expected to win that game huge. I know it's UTEP, and we love to talk about how great UTEP is for some reason on this channel. UTEP's one of the worst teams on the planet this year. They're going to be horrific. Nebraska probably wins that game by 40 plus. The line is 27.5. I would bet Nebraska at minus 27.5 if I were to bet that game. I think Nebraska blows them. UTEP's going to struggle to get first downs in that game, I think. Never mind score. South Carolina plays at 4:15. They host Old Dominion. Now, Old Dominion's not great, but they've got a couple of Power 5 wins over the last few years against some Virginia teams. South Carolina better not lose that one. I don't think they will. Then you get into the primetime games. Kalen DeBoer's first game as head coach at Alabama. 7 o'clock, they host Western Kentucky. Jackson Dart and Ole Miss hosting Furman, also at 7 o'clock. Oregon hosts Idaho. That game might be 100-0. And then, of course, the big primetime game, Notre Dame and Texas A&M, 7:30 on ABC. Huge game for Notre Dame. Huge game for Notre Dame. They have to win that game. Must win. This is the only must-win game in week one. This one, right? Notre Dame has to win this game. They're the only Power 4 team that doesn't have a guaranteed path to the playoff. Any other team in the Power 4 has a guaranteed path to the playoff. All they got to do is win their conference. Out-of-conference games really don't matter in terms of ability to make the playoffs from a record standpoint. Notre Dame's not in a conference. They don't have a guaranteed path to the playoff. And even if they go 10-2, if one of those losses is to Texas A&M and the playoff committee's sitting in a room in December going, should we put this 10-2 Notre Dame team in that lost to the 7th or 8th best team in the SEC, or should we put the 4th place SEC team in who also went 10-2? Guess who's getting in? The 4th place SEC team who also went 10-2, not Notre Dame. They have to win this game. Michigan hosts Fresno State at 7:30, coming off their national title. We'll talk about the Connor Stallions thing in a minute. The documentary came out at I think 3 a.m. last night. Auburn hosts Alabama A&M. Kentucky, Brock Vandagriff at quarterback there. They host Southern Miss. First look at Brock Vandagriff. Georgia Tech, coming off their huge win, has to travel back to the United States and host not just in-state, but in-city opponent, Georgia State. Both these schools are in Atlanta. How does Georgia Tech handle all the praise that has been heaped upon them over the last couple of days? SMU gets a chance to rebound. I know they won last weekend, but God, they looked terrible. They host Houston Christian. Arizona, a lot of people think they can win the Big 12. Really good quarterback, Noah Fafita or whatever his name is, but they got a brand new coaching staff, so I'm a little hesitant on them in terms of their ability to win the Big 12, but they are going to be a good team and a fun offense to watch. They should win this game, no problem. Completely rebuilt Washington team hosts Weber State at 11. So great games on Saturday all day long, obviously. As far as my streaming schedule on Saturday goes, the poll is still up on Patreon, so if you haven't voted on the streaming schedule, head over to the Patreon page and do it, because I'm going to end that poll tonight before the call-in show, so that on the call-in show I can announce my streaming schedule for Saturday. But I'll just give you a heads up. Right now, the noon games are way ahead. So it looks like I will be streaming the noon games on Patreon. That's what it looks like right now. Unless something drastic changes in that poll between now and 9 o'clock tonight, then it looks like I'll be streaming the noon games on Patreon. I will probably stream one of the other time slots on YouTube, but that's never a guarantee. It's never a guarantee. But I try to stream 2 time slots every Saturday. I didn't do it last Saturday because there was just... Well, yeah, I did too. Yeah, I did. I did the Florida State Georgia Tech game on YouTube, and we did the primetime games on Patreon. But anyway, right now it looks like the noon games will be live streamed on Patreon. So those of you who are signed up over there, you know how that will work. I'll post the link over on Patreon about 11:45. You just go over to Patreon, click the link, it takes you to the live stream, and we'll hang out and watch all the noon games, including Georgia and Clemson. And then I'll make a decision sometime after that or before that, or if I want to stream the 3:30 games on YouTube or the primetime games on YouTube. If for some reason I don't stream the 3:30 or the primetime games on YouTube, I'll still be uploading halftime reports and reaction videos and all that all day long. So that looks like the likely schedule for Saturday. And then I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do about these Sunday and Monday games. I'm streaming both of them. One will probably be on Patreon, and one will probably be on YouTube. I streamed the Florida State game on YouTube last week, so maybe we do Florida State on Patreon this week, and we do the Southern Cal LSU game on YouTube. I haven't exactly figured out the Sunday, Monday deal yet as far as what I'm going to do, but obviously two interesting games. This game looks a lot more, this Florida State-Boston College game is a lot more interesting now than it was a week ago, right? Last night on the Lunch Money Show, you can see the line is 15.5. Florida State's a 15.5 point favorite at home against Boston College. I haven't looked this up, but last night on the Lunch Money Show, Pete and people in the comment section were saying that last week before Florida State lost to Georgia Tech, that Florida State was listed as a 20 or a 21 point favorite against Boston College. So the line has dropped 6 points if that's the case. That's a huge line drop. 6 points. You rarely, if ever, see a line move 6 points. So obviously a lot of people recalculating their opinions of Florida State after what they saw last week in Ireland. I think Florida State probably wins the game. I don't think I'm betting on this one, though. I'll probably stay away from this in terms of betting. Probably stay away from that in terms of betting. Yeah. So there you go on that. And that's the schedule of games coming up starting Thursday. 5 days of games: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And to the best of my knowledge right now, that's what I will be streaming and when I will be streaming and all that. So there you go. How's everybody doing? Captain Trips, what's up, buddy? Brian, Jay, Biggs Bikes, #1 Notre Dame man. Agent Z, what's up, buddy? Good to see you in here. Baylor man, Spike Nelson, Eyes on Texas, Cooter Cat. Oh, VicTube. VicTube will be on with us Thursday morning. Sir UJ, what's up, buddy? Some guy, Matt Dummett. Yep. Yeah. Pastor Dave, Chunky Nothing. Blazer Dog. Austin Rogers. Top 3 games. So that's a pretty obvious question there. I mean, if you're talking about Saturday, Georgia, Clemson, Miami, Florida, Texas A&M, Notre Dame. I mean, those are the 3 biggest games Saturday, for sure. Hogman says, great show last night, Lou. Yeah, I don't know how many people like the new way versus the old way. I guess the downside of the new way we're doing the Lunch Money Show now is that we might not talk about some particular game that you hoped we would talk about because we're limiting the number of games we talk about now on the Lunch Money Show. The thing is, the way we did it before was just a waste of time, really. Yeah, an hour or even 2 hours is just not enough to talk about 40 games. And going through a list of 40 games and just saying, okay, I'll take this team minus that points. All right, next. All right, yeah, I'll take that team plus the points. All right, next. Okay, I'll take the over on that one. Okay, next. That's not, it's boring. And a little dumb. So me and Pete went back and forth on text messaging yesterday, and if you didn't catch the Lunch Money Show last night, then what we've decided to do is I pick 3 games that I really like. He picks 3 games that he really likes, and those are the 6 games we talk about. Last night, because I'm a Georgia fan and he's a Clemson fan, we, of course, talked about that game first. So it was really 7 games last night because we both talked to Clemson, Georgia. I had 3 games for us to talk about. He had 3 games for us to talk about. So 7 games. And then, what's our best bet, or, the lock of the week, whatever you want to call it, our favorite bet of the week. And we each picked an underdog that we thought could potentially win outright. And, we're able to spend, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, on every game rather than just glossing over the surface and saying, yeah, I'll take Nebraska minus 27.5 against UTEP. Next. Okay. Yeah, I'll take Colorado -9 against North Dakota State. Okay, next. It's a more interesting show, I think. It's more conversation based around the games instead of just coming on for an hour and basically just listing our picks one after the other. You missed a shit show aspect. Well, we're still going to do the shit show aspect of the Lunch Money Show, just not every week. It just depends what's going on. If there's nothing shit show related really to talk about, then we won't do the shit show aspect of the show. But if there is something shit show related to talk about, then we will do the shit show aspect of the show, but it'll be after we do the football part of the show. So we'll come on, we'll talk about the 6 or 7 games, whatever it is that we really like that week from a betting angle for the first hour or so of the show. And then if there's some shit show thing to talk about, we would do that afterwards. That's how the Lunch Money Show will work moving forward. Sam, that's you, buddy. Right now you're the LouTube sideshow. It's just that you don't come on. You don't have the stones, but like you're the sideshow comment section edition. Anybody stay up till 3 a.m. to watch the Connor Stallions documentary? I did not. I am gonna watch it, but I've read a couple of write-ups on it this morning, and I mean, it's kind of what you thought. It's just it's him saying I didn't do anything wrong, and if I did do anything wrong, I didn't tell anybody at Michigan about it. No one knew, and no one did anything, and leave us alone. Is basically it. But in the documentary, he tells NCAA investigators that he never participated in any advanced in-person scouting, and that he never purchased tickets for other people to attend games of Michigan's future opponents for the specific purpose of recording their signals. He does admit that he bought a bunch of tickets for games involving future Michigan opponents, and that he gave those tickets away to other people, and that some of those people recorded the signals, but not because he told them to. So it's bullshit, really. He was asked if any Michigan coaches or staff members were aware of the alleged scheme to obtain opponent signals through in-person advanced scouting, and his reply was, I didn't obtain signals through in-person scouting. So he's basically falling back on the thing where it wasn't me in the stands filming the game, so I didn't do advanced in-person scouting. He's not denying that he gave tickets to people who went to the games, and some of those people sat right behind the bench and recorded the signals. He's just saying, hey, they did that of their own free will. They've got records in this documentary that prove that Connor Stallions purchased tickets for multiple games involving future Michigan opponents. But Stalions tells the investigators in the documentary that was common for him, that a lot of times he would purchase tickets to a lot of games and he would either resell them or give them away to friends. That's what he claims. And it just so happened to be tickets to games involving teams that Michigan played later in the season. It was purely a coincidence, he claims. At one point in the documentary, Connor Stallions states to the NCAA, there are some people who attended games using tickets that I purchased, and they recorded parts of those games. but he said he didn't recall who recorded which games. But he did admit to receiving film from some of those people that he sent to the games. They also interviewed one of the guys that Connor Stallions sent to a game, Zachary Kon, a fellow Marine that knew Connor Stallions through the military. They interview him, and he admits to receiving tickets from Connor Stallions for specific games and for going to those games. And when they ask him, did you sit behind the bench and record the opponent's signals? His answer is, there's no evidence that I did that. That's literally his answer. So he didn't say, no, I didn't do it. He says, there's no evidence I did that. So you make it at what you will. Here's some quotes basically that outline Connor Stallions' story, sort of the bullet points of his story. This is Connor Stallions talking. I've had friends that send me film. It's kind of like when your aunt gets you a Christmas gift that you already have. You're not going to be rude and be like, oh, I already have this. I don't need that. You just say, okay, thanks. I appreciate it. They feel like they're helping you out, but I already had the signals. I had already memorized the other team's signals. They ask him about the Central Michigan thing. The costume on the side of the Central Michigan game, which everybody with a functioning brain knows was him. They ask him about that in the documentary. Stalions' answer to that question is that he didn't recall attending a specific game. When people get a lawyer and they answer questions by stating, I don't recall, that's because the lawyer has told them to say that. Don't we all know that? I don't recall. I don't recall. Because then you can't be, if you say you don't recall, you're not admitting doing it, and you're not denying doing it. So you can't later be charged with perjury or anything. You just say, I don't remember. I don't recall. And when they specifically say, I don't recall, that's when you know they're doing it just because a lawyer has coached them to do it. Because nobody in the real world, when they're asked about something in the past, uses the phrase, I don't recall. Nobody. They go, I don't remember that. I don't know. I don't remember. Like if somebody asked me what I ate for dinner last Monday, I'm not going to go, I don't recall. I'm going to go, last Monday? I don't remember that. So that's how you know. But yeah, he's clearly lying. We all know it was him. And this is interesting. Guess who else is in the documentary? Dave Portnoy, the Barstool guy. Anyway, so they're asking Connor Stallions about this dressing up like Where's Waldo for Central Michigan. And his answer is, I don't recall attending any specific game. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy, who appears in the documentary, claims that Connor Stallions admitted to him that he was on the sideline of the Central Michigan game. So I don't know what your opinion or thoughts are of Dave Portnoy or Barstool, or whether you trust Dave Portnoy or don't, or like him or don't, or what. I don't know. But Dave Portnoy claims that Connor Stallions told him, yep, I was on the sideline of that center. That was me. Which we all know it was him. Connor Stallions' attorney, Brad Beckworth, interjects over and over again during the NCAA interview of Connor Stallions, claiming that Connor Stallions' personal information. This is interesting here. Part of Connor Stallions and his lawyer's defense is to blame Ohio State. This is interesting. The Ohio State-Michigan thing is just fascinating to me. The Auburn-Alabama thing is the only other rivalry in this country that's close to this. I'm sorry. I'm not here to shit on Georgia, Florida, or Texas, Oklahoma, or South Carolina, Clemson, or whatever other rivalry you want to make. This type of shit doesn't happen other places. But anyway, Connor Stalions' attorney, Brad Beckworth, interjects over and over again during the investigation, claiming that Connor Stalions' personal information was illegally leaked, which is what initially led the NCAA to investigate Michigan about this sign stealing in the first place. His lawyer says, quote, if that's true, it's a violation of civil law and maybe even a bigger crime. And if it's true that that came from somebody associated with Ohio State, and we think it was, that's where if I was going to try to do the right thing, I might be focusing there and not here. He's basically telling the NCAA, and apparently that he wants the police involved, that they should be investigating Ohio State or somebody at Ohio State for leaking all of this Connor Stalions information, including personal information. But here's the thing. Let's assume that's true. Okay, maybe somebody at Ohio State broke some laws by doing that. But why did they leak the Connor Stalions? Why Connor Stalions out of the blue? Why do you think Ohio State, out of the blue, decides to leak the information of a no-name Ohio State staffer that nobody knew who the fuck Connor Stalions was until this investigation, right? So the implication would be that Ohio State knew what was going on at Michigan. They knew they were cheating. They knew what Connor Stalions was up to. And so they leaked that information to blow the investigation open. You know, who knows? But this Ohio State-Michigan rivalry is fascinating to me. So Connor Stalions' attorney asked the NCAA investigator, how did you get all this information about Connor Stalions? Who gave it to you? When the NCAA investigators refused to answer that question from Connor Stalions' attorney, Connor Stalions' attorney immediately ends the interview and says, if you're not going to tell us who leaked this information about Connor Stalions, what was going on, then we're not answering any more questions. And they walked away. And that was it. That was the end of Connor Stalions' cooperation with the NCAA. In the documentary, Connor Stalions says he realized that Michigan was at the bottom of an intelligence operations totem pole. So he says, I'm going to summarize some of this because I read this morning. He says that when he got to Michigan as an unpaid low-level staffer, he immediately realized that they were severely lacking and severely behind in sort of the intelligence gathering process when it came to scouting other teams. That Michigan was that Michigan wasn't doing everything they could or should be doing from an intelligence standpoint. These are his words, an intelligence standpoint about other teams. This was when he joined the staff as a volunteer in 2018. At the end of the 2018 season, Connor Stalions received a call from somebody at another school who introduced him to a, quote, underground community of college football analysts who trade elements of schemes and game plans to learn certain signals. So this is Connor Stalions explaining how he was able to decipher other teams' signals, separate and aside from sending other people to games and recording the signals from behind the bench, which he still denies doing. He says, quote, you don't know you're at the bottom if you don't have a guy who focuses on that. Based on my experience, 80 to 90% of teams have one of those intel operations members on staff. So basically what he's claiming is that 90% of the teams have a Connor Stalions on their staff, somebody that is specifically tasked with figuring out other teams' signals. But again, that's not against any rules. You're free to study the television copy of a game until you're blue in the face trying to figure out other teams' signals. There's no rule. There's nothing wrong with that. So he's kind of deflecting here because that's not what's at issue here. You know, what's at issue here is whether or not he and Michigan participated in advanced in-person scouting, which is what would be against the rules. Stallions claims he was able to decipher opponents' signals through watching tape, obtaining information from other staff members who were part of the network, and memorizing thousands of hand signals. In the documentary, he claims, quote, "I've never advanced scouted." Again, that's semantics. He sent other people to do it, right? And he was on the sideline of the Central Michigan game with spy goggles on. I mean, so, and now to the best of my knowledge, this documentary and all of the interviews in this documentary took place months ago, before the NCAA released their notice of allegations on Michigan, where they confirm, yes, it was Connor Stalions on the sideline of Central Michigan. So you have to remember, when you watch this documentary, everything that is happening in this documentary, all of the interviews, all of the quotes from Connor Stalions, all of that is before he knew that the NCAA had proof that that was him on the Central Michigan sideline. So in this entire documentary, he's still denying the whole Central Michigan thing, which we now know is a lie. And I said it at the time, and I've said it since then. If that's the only bit of information I had about this entire case, that's enough for me. The fact that this guy would dress up and sneak onto a Central Michigan sideline to record Michigan State's signals from across the field, like, that's all I don't need to know anything else. That's enough for me, you know. And people say, well, they're innocent until proven guilty. That's in a criminal court. Okay, I'm not a juror. I'm not on a criminal court. I don't need to operate under the innocent until proven guilty deal when it comes to what I think Connor Stalions in Michigan did. I don't have to do that. I don't have the ability to throw Connor Stalions or anybody at Michigan in jail. So therefore, I'm not hamstrung by the innocent until proven guilty mantra. That's like people who get something removed from Facebook and claim it's a free speech issue. No, it's not a free speech. Free speech keeps you out of jail. Free speech doesn't give you the right to post on someone else's social media platform. Sorry, it doesn't. Facebook can ban you anytime they want. There's nothing you can do. That's not a free speech issue. Free speech protects you from the government, not from Facebook or Twitter. And innocent until proven guilty is a criminal justice, is an element of criminal justice. It's not an element of my opinion of what happened. All I need to know is that this guy was prancing around the Central Michigan sideline in disguise with go-go gadget secret recorder goggles on. That's all. I don't need to know anything else. But anyway, so in this documentary, he's still denying all that because everything in this documentary was filmed before the notice of allegations came out, where we now know it really was him. He says, if this is about signals, I obtain signals the way every other team does, through watching TV copies and talking to other intel guys from other teams. What set me apart was the way in which I organized that information and I processed it on game day. So he denies any and all wrongdoing and all. And then the article goes on to talk about what could potentially happen to Michigan and Sharon Moore and all that. So if you want to read the entire article, there's several of them out this morning about the documentary. The one that I was just quoting from was on ESPN, but there's articles out about this documentary all over the place. Yeah, it sounds to me like you don't need to watch the documentary unless you're just extremely curious about it. You can read a couple of articles this morning and know everything you need to know about what was and wasn't in that documentary. So there you go. Michigan cheated. Did I miss some? No, you're good, man. That Maze Haze protects you. It's an impenetrable force. It's like the Maze Haze is like a force field around you, Mike. You ain't got to worry about it, buddy. You're good. All right, well, Todd, we'll see you later, buddy. Paylou. Well, 3 weeks in a row I've finished up. So I've got paid 3 weeks in a row as opposed to having to pay him. So that's always good. Yesterday, of course, started a new week for the Paylou movement. And I went basically 2-2. Well, not basically. I did go 2-2 yesterday. I had varied my bet sizes a little bit on the bets, and so I ended up yesterday after going 2-2 up $1.55. Like I had bet $50 on the Yankees minus 1.5, and that hit. But then I had like two $25 bets that I lost, and then like a $20 bet that I won. Anyway, it was something like that. I ended up being up $1.55. So basically a wash yesterday, which is better than losing. I'm not going to complain. It's better than losing. The Guardians played a doubleheader yesterday, and I bet on them in both games, and they lost both games. So the two games that I lost were both the Guardians. They lost the early game, and they lost the late game. So, you know, it's pretty much the Guardians' fault that I'm only up $1. Had I not bet the Guardians or had the Guardians won, I would have been up significantly. Oh, I hit Detroit. Detroit Tigers was a winner over the White Sox. I hit on that one. I hit the Yankees. I missed on the Guardians, and then I had a 3-bet parlay that I missed. Anyway, you add all that up, and I ended up being up $1.55 for the day yesterday. So not a great day, but any day you look, I know everybody gets every game right on the internet. I get it, but I'm telling you, I've been betting on sports since I was 8 years old. Any day that you bet on sports and don't lose money is a great day. Now, if you happen to get lucky and win some money, great. But if you just break even, then you're ahead of most for the day. So I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. It's just Monday. That's 6 more days. So I'll take it. Lou is beating his internet so far today. Yeah. Hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully it stays that way. What else is going on? I don't think much of anything, really. I updated my top 25 yesterday for absolutely no reason at all. I usually don't update my top 25 after week 0 because you only have, sometimes you got no ranked teams playing. But because Florida State lost and I had them ranked and all that, I did a quick update to the top 25. If you didn't watch it, you don't really need to. The only change I made to my top 20, I left every team the same, except I moved Florida State completely out of my top 25. I had Florida State, I think, at 16 or something like that. So I moved them completely out of my top 25. Everybody that was behind Florida State moved up 1 spot. So whoever was 17 became 16. Whoever was 20 became 19. Whoever was 25 became 24. And I added Georgia Tech at 25. That's literally the only change I made. So if you didn't watch it already, you don't need to. You don't need to. And then, the video about Dabo Swinney. It's funny that I think the only thing I think Dabo did wrong here with the not taking phone calls deal, the only thing I think he did wrong was announce this or have this come out now. This should have been announced in the middle of the offseason when nobody was paying attention. When it's announced and comes out 5 days before their toughest game of the year, a game in which they're likely to lose, a game where they're a 2-touchdown underdog, it does make it look like, hey, I don't want to have to take phone calls next week if we tote a beating from Georgia. Now, I don't think that's what it is. That's not what it is. Obviously, that's not what it is. But I think Clemson and it would have been better served if they just would have announced this later. Most coaches are not taking live. I was unaware because I don't watch a lot of these coaching shows that during the week or whatever. So I was unaware exactly how it worked. And in the video, I said that. And I asked people, I said, hey, let me know. What does your coach do? Whatever. The overwhelming, from what I can tell anyway now, from reading comments and then looking some stuff up yesterday, the overwhelming majority of coaches that still do these types of shows are not taking live, unscreened phone calls like Dabo Swinney because of the Tyler from Spartanburg deal. You don't want some jackleg calling in, ripping you a new asshole up one side and down the other. Now, it's hilarious when we as fans see it happen to some other coach, but surely y'all can understand why that's probably a bad idea in today's day and age. So the way most of these teams and coaches handle these coaching shows now is pre-screened questions. You're either sending the questions in via email, Twitter, or even if it's a phone call, it's screened ahead of time. And then the co-host of the show is just asking the coach your question for you. So in other words, they'll say, hey, coach, we got an email from, Steve from North Augusta, and he wants to know blah, 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 and they'll read it. That way, when Tyler from Spartanburg sends an email in that says, why is Dabo Swinney so goddamn dumb, and why won't he use the portal, and why is he so hard-headed, and I hate Dabo, and Dabo, when are you going to start waking up and just berating him? Then they just don't read that email on air, right? They just pretend they never got that email. As opposed to a live call-in show with no screener where any idiot like me or Tyler from Spartanburg can call in and cuss your head coach out. So I don't blame Clemson and Dabo from going away from that format. In fact, a lot of people have gone away from that format. It's the timing of when this news came out that makes it look bad. It makes it look like, Dabo must be worried about what's going to happen this weekend, and he doesn't want to have to take phone calls from angry fans next week. But I'm sure this is a decision that was made at some point in the past. And like I said, why they didn't announce it then is beyond me, but that's what they should have done. That's what they should have done. But anyway, so that's my thoughts on that. I thought about, instead of sitting down and legitimately talking about that yesterday on video, which is what I ended up doing, I thought about just grabbing my cell phone and doing a walking around video with the wanted glasses on and clowning the shit out of Dabo for being a giant pussy. And I did think about taking that route, but I decided not to do it. I am going to do a hype and hate video about Clemson, and I'll save that maybe for then, along with some other stuff. But I get it. I get why. I get why they're doing that. I get why they're doing that. Yeah, now Dion, no, refusing to take questions from a certain reporter and then announcing that, hey, I'm not going to take questions from this reporter anymore. Now, yeah, that's a bitch move. Saturday food sent your way. What? Let's see, what'd you do here? What'd you do here? Look at you. And I appreciate that. Get yourself some Tommy fries this Saturday. Hashtag Maze Hayes. Hashtag Pay Lou. It's funny. Me and a lady were talking yesterday about how we're going to handle the food situation for this weekend. And we were a little bit still on the fence because you got 5 days worth of games. So I'm like, well, okay, normally we just have to worry about Saturday, but Sunday, okay, what am I going to do Sunday night or Monday? So thank you, Mike. And I'm pretty sure I can fit Tommy fries somewhere in to these 5 days of games we have coming up: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Thank you for supporting the show, buddy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Mays better beat Ohio State again this year. Keep crying, Day crying. They could. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It is going to be a great week. Let's I'm trying to remember when last year I bought my plane ticket for the Vegas trip. I think it was in October. I'm trying to figure out when the cheapest time to buy that plane ticket is. If it's 2 months before or 3 months before. Right now, let's see. Also, last January, I drove to Atlanta and flew from Atlanta to Vegas and then back to Atlanta and then had to drive from Atlanta to Augusta when I got back. I'm not doing that this time. I'm flying out of Augusta, so it's going to cost me a little bit more, but it's worth it based on what I'll save in time and just gas driving back and forth to Atlanta. I'm just going to fly out of Augusta. It's just way more convenient. It's just way more convenient. Monday the 27th, it would cost me $408 if I leave Monday and come back Friday. The plane ticket is $408. It's about $40 cheaper if I leave on Tuesday or Saturday. Let's do Saturday. And then come back Friday. If I did Saturday to Friday, which would be January 25th, Saturday, January 25th, so I'll put it up for y'all. Saturday the 25th to Friday the 31st, $378. That's for American. I'd really rather fly Delta. Well, here's one, $388 Delta. Here we go. That's one I could do. So you see, this one's at 4 in the afternoon. You don't get to Vegas till 7 at night. I don't really like that. I'd rather do something like this. Leave Augusta at 7 in the morning. Get to Vegas at 11:30 in the morning. Now, remember, there's a 3-hour time difference. So even though 7 to 11:30 looks like, 4.5 hours, you can see it's really 7.5. It's a 7.5 hour trip. So you leave Augusta at 7 in the morning. Get to Atlanta at 8:17 a.m. Leave Atlanta at 9:50. Get to Vegas at 11:31. So Augusta to Atlanta is about an hour. I know it says an hour and 17 minutes. It's not that long. It's never that long. It's usually a little under an hour to get from Augusta to Atlanta. Atlanta to Vegas, 4 hours and 41 minutes. Just enough time to watch 2 movies. Vegas to Atlanta. How long is it from Vegas to? How long does it take to fly from Vegas? I mean, from Atlanta to Vegas, it takes 2 movies. That's how long it takes. That's the other thing. I don't know. Do y'all fly a lot? Out of Augusta, your only 2 options are Delta and American Airlines. American Airlines doesn't have TVs in the seat in the back of the seat in front of you. They don't. Now they have the same movie service and TV service and everything that Delta has, but you have to watch it on your phone. There's a thing you log into on your phone while you're on the plane that gives you access to all the movies and the TV shows in that. With Delta, there's a TV screen in front of you. First class to Vegas. That ticket that was right here, I'll show you. Let me show you why I'm not. This is why I'm not flying first class. Look, I'll show you. Well, we'll pretend we're going to buy this ticket here. So the ticket that was $388. Well, they don't even have first class on here, but Delta Comfort, which is in between coach and first class, would be $678. Remember, this is the same flight now. Well, you know what I can do? I'll go to Delta and I'll show you the price of the first class. That ticket that's $388, first class would be $1,500 at least. I'm going to go to delta.com and look it up and show you the first class price. Let's see, book, yeah. Round trip, depart. So we were doing Saturday the 25th to Friday the 31st. 1 passenger, go. Oh, wait a minute, enter a destination city. Las Vegas. So that $388 ticket, if you want to fly first class, would be $1,608. Now, I have done this. Okay, you see where it says Comfort Plus $678? I have flown Comfort Plus before, and it's almost as nice. Comfort Plus is the same seats as first class without the first class service. So you don't get whatever they give you free, whatever. But it's the same seats. But let me tell you what you can do. You book whatever basic seat you want, right? Okay, so if you don't fly, okay, $388 gets you a seat on the plane. You don't know what seat though. They're gonna assign you a seat. For $478, you can pick from any available seat. Regular seat, not comfort or first class. Comfort Plus is the same size seats, the oversized plush seats. It's the same as first class without the services that are included with first class. And then, of course, everybody knows what first class is. But what I have done before is book one of the economy tickets. And then once you have the flight booked and you log on to your Delta app or on your phone or on your computer or whatever, and it shows you your flight, and this is when you're leaving, and this is your airplane, and this is your seat, and blah, blah, blah. The closer it gets to your departure date, the cheaper these seats become, and they will start to offer you an upgrade. So, okay, I paid $478 for a ticket, right? It would have cost me $678 for Comfort Plus. That's a difference of $200, right? Sometimes if you wait long enough, they will offer to upgrade this seat to this seat for $50, $75, something like that. So instead of paying $678 for this comfort seat, you had a $478 ticket that you paid a $50 upgrade fee for a week before your flight. So now you got this $678 seat for $528. Does that make sense? And I have done that before. I think it was when we went to New Orleans in December last year. We did Comfort Plus. I've never flown first class. Ever. Most people, not all, there's plenty of rich people around, but a lot of the people that you see in first class are business people that travel a lot, you know? So their company is basically paying for them to fly all over the place for work, and they've just accumulated so many Sky Miles that they can purchase first class tickets with Sky Miles. I don't travel enough for that. I travel enough to where I can sometimes pay for my baggage fees with Sky Miles. I don't travel nearly enough to be paying for first class tickets with Sky Miles. But I have used Sky Miles to pay for my baggage fees. Traveling savant. Not really. I mean, I've traveled more in the last couple of years than normal. That's for sure. I think some of it, well, there's a couple of reasons. Some of it is, you know, there was like that year and a half or two or whatever from COVID where you couldn't go anywhere and the hotels were closed and resorts were closed. And so you just felt kind of cooped up. And when that ended, I was just kind of ready to get out and do something. That's part of it. The other part is, you know, my kids are old enough now to where I can do some trips, and they don't even want to go. Never mind me telling them they can't go. Like they're at the age where they'd almost rather stay home than go out of town for a weekend, unless they can bring a friend or two with them, you know. And got several trips planned coming up. We're going back to New Orleans again in December. Me and the lady going back to New Orleans in December for like 3 days after the conference championship games. I made a mistake last year. I tried to squeeze that New Orleans trip last year in between rivalry weekend and conference championship weekend. So, in other words, you had Thanksgiving on Thursday. We left that Sunday, went to New Orleans, came back Wednesday, and then conference championship games were that Saturday. I'm not making that mistake again. It was too rushed. You know, I came back and I had to make 10 videos in 2 days about all the conference championship. I'm not doing that again. So this year we're going to wait until after conference championship games and go. We're going the Monday after the conference championship games to New Orleans for 2 or 3 days. And then there's the Vegas trip in January, the guys trip, Vegas guys trip in January, which I'll remind you all again, you're all invited. It's still like 5 months away, so you've got plenty of time to squirrel some money away if you want to go. But we had a really good time last year, really good time. Looking forward to it again. The dates of the Vegas trip are basically January 27th through January 31st. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, but that's a Monday through Friday. Some people may go Sunday to Thursday. Some may go Saturday to Friday. Some may go Monday to Thursday, but it's basically that Monday through Friday. So getting married in November, going to Puerto Rico for the honeymoon in June. What day of the week are you getting married on? I mean, congratulations on getting married, but Saturday, bro, your life is over. Your life is over, man. If you couldn't even talk your fiance out of getting married on a college football Saturday, dude, you got a tough road to hoe, buddy. Tough road to hoe. At most, I mean at the absolute most, Georgia plays 16 games a year. That's 16 days that you can't get married. And if a significant other can't agree to that, look, you go, okay, there's 365 days in a year. There's only 16 of those days that I'm not getting married. Pick any other day. What is that, 349? There's 300, you have 349 days to choose from to get married. But these 16 days where Georgia either is playing or could potentially play, no. So I'm happy for you that you get married, and I'm sure she's a wonderful and lovely woman, but brother, your life is over. Your life is over. Same for Colby. Colby's getting married on playoff Saturday. I mean, that's worse than that's worse than you, buddy. At least you're getting married in a regular season. I mean, you only have to miss a regular season game. This damn Colby getting married on playoffs on round one Saturday? No. 5-star dummy. But yeah, man, your football watching days are over. If she's done conned you into getting married on a college football Saturday, you can forget it. You know what you're going to be doing every Saturday in the fall from here to the end of time for you? Fucking yard sales, arts and crafts festivals, farmers market. That's every Saturday. Once you get married, that's every Saturday for you. From now to the end of time, you can forget watching football because if she's not even gonna, if she's not even willing to compromise to get married, then once she's got you legally, she's got no reason to compromise. So, man, tough break for you there, bud. But I'm sure she's a great woman. I'm not putting her down at all. I don't want it to come across that way, but man, yeah, college football will miss you, buddy. College football will miss you. Dang, another one bites the dust there. Another one bites the dust there. Colby is a war criminal. Damn. Is that true? I tell you what, dogs a night. It's too late now, obviously. But when you were in the process of trying to negotiate this settlement with your future wife on when y'all were getting married, you should have got me in on the deal, man. I would have been happy to call her here live here on the shoe even, and try to make her understand. You know, I'd have been happy to do that. It's obviously too late now. I mean, you're getting married. Ole Miss game, that's in November. Shit, that's 3 months away. Y'all probably already done reserved buildings and caterers and whatever else. Probably it's too late to change it now. But yeah, man, I would have been happy to help you out in that. That goes for anybody else too, by the way. I'll be happy to call anybody's girlfriend or fiance or whatever live right here on the shoe and explain to them that nothing is happening on Saturdays in the fall. That's just what it is. You can do something on Sunday, you can do something Tuesday. Yeah, you do whatever you need to do. But as far as Saturdays go, my man's just watching football. That's just what it is. It's 14, 15, 16 days a year. That's all. That's it. It's not like we're asking for weeks or months. It's 14, 15, maybe 16 days a year where you got to leave my man alone here. That's it. The rest of the days, fine. Whatever, take him to some silly ass wine tasting thing, or, make him go to some stupid fucking farmer's market on some random Sunday, fine. Or even any other Saturday, but not those 15 or 16 days, off limits. Deal? That's how I tell them. And I say, listen, you gotta, I'll explain it to them. Marriage is a give and take, lady. And in this particular case here, you're going to have to give. That's what it is. So, you're going to have to give. By give, I mean give up these 15 or 16 Saturdays. They don't belong to you. They belong to my man's and that. He's watching football on those days. That's just what it is. So, yeah. So, but yeah, at any point, of course, I'm happy to call any of y'all's significant other or future or potential significant other and pretty much explain the situation to them on those 15 or 16 days a year. I'm more than happy to do that. More than happy to do that. I'm great. Kipster, how you doing, bud? I'm great. Just about to get out of here. Just about to get out of here. I hear you, buddy. Living a dream. Yep. Living the dream. It's a great day. It's a great day to be a soldier. No. All right, yeah, I think I am going to get out of here. Take a little bit of a break and then get started on some videos today. I'm going to do some prediction videos today. So, of course, I'll hit some of the big games, Miami, Florida, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Penn State, West Virginia, LSU, Southern Cal, Georgia, Clemson, Colorado, North Dakota State, whatever. I don't know which ones I'll do today. I'll do some today, some tomorrow, probably even some on Thursday. And then, of course, we got the hype and hate video coming up on Friday. That's pretty much the schedule for uploaded videos the rest of the week. Don't forget about the call-in show tonight at 9. I'm sure that'll be a good one. Maybe we'll hear from some Florida State fans. I don't know. What's the percentage chance that any Florida State fan calls in? Even just one? Is it like 50-50? Is it like only a 10% chance? Or like what do you think? Will a Florida State man call into the call-in show tonight? Dang. I certainly hope so. We'll find out tonight at 9 o'clock. Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. I hope to see you all there. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday. Enjoy your week. See you tonight, and have a good morning.